And we're live in a post Aaron Glenn world. So, Wayne, Aaron, the head coach, and Aaron, the quarterback. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Rodgers. But the intro presser, I know you were there. I spotted you. I was there. I got a good picture of the legends that were on the stage. I think there was like 12 or 13 of you. What did you think of the day?
It was great. Anticipation when, I was saying, joking, I couldn't sleep. I was so excited. But yeah, he said everything you would want to hear, coming from someone who you can't fake it to someone like me.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about. He's got the right message, the right tone. And I'm excited about it, and there was a lot of alumni there that played with him, guys before. His family was there. It was a great day for him. And you talk about the quarterback. In
Yeah.
his introduction, he basically said, "Listen, he knew everybody was going to say, is Aaron going to be there? If not, he just said, listen, we're looking at everything. Yes, we're talking to him. There's a line of communication. We'll let you know when we know." So kind of cut off all the questions, but he did a good job.
It was he got me fired up too. I can't lie. Like I sent you the text afterwards. I was ready to run through a wall and even try to cover you out of the slot. That's how fired up he got me.
Yeah, it was like I said. I didn't really have a relationship with you know Rex or Mangini than
Were you tight with
Gillies
Bulls at all?
or Sal. Like me, I didn't go. I'm there, but I kind of didn't go to that side of the building, and I always wish
Yeah.
best of luck, this and that, congrats. But just with Aaron, it's different. The relationship I have with him, and the GM didn't get as many questions, but it
No.
seemed like AG and him had pretty good a rapport going already, and after a couple of days.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Glenn brought up an interesting game, the '98 title game. And it was you he shouted out, right? He was looking at you when he said, "Wayne, you'll remember this." And he
Yeah,
brought up the title game about the wind and uh, the fact that he could connect with Jets fans and this organization in being a part of that situation, how frustrating it was, and telling the fan base that he's going to get it back for everybody, it just doesn't get better, I don't think.
yeah. He said, "I'm a Jet. I'm a Jet." And he just coming into that situation. He's coming into a situation where not a lot of good has come, a lot of pressure on him, and he's dealt with the media as a player. Now he's gonna have to
Mm,
do it as a coach. So even though this thing's gonna be tough, to turn around, might take a little time. He's prepared to answer the questions, prepared to put in the work. Like you said, his dad would go and work at 4 a.m. and work till he was done. It wasn't like 4 to whatever time. He said when it was done, the job's done. He said, I'll
yep.
be there. I'll do everything I can. And he said he goes and hangs with Al Groh. He goes to Parcells. He goes to, Sean Payton. He said, I'm
Yes.
constantly learning. And, geez, man, that's the kind of guy you want.
Yeah, the grow connection I didn't realize. I mean, because people forget Grow 9-7 for his career. That one season in 2000, you guys were the cardiac kids that year. I mean, geez. But Glenn, when did he go to Houston after 2001? I think.
He was in the
So
supplemental draft.
yeah, the expansion. Yeah, the
Yeah,
expansion draft.
expanded.
Same
Yeah,
thing.
Parcells actually put him in that. And he was the third pick in the first round, but he kind of learned something from that about it being a business, and he kept those relationships, and those are the guys you want to learn from.
That is
Listen,
crazy. Yeah.
every sure,
No, no. I was looking at the expansion draft. Where is she? Oh yeah, she's in her spot. She's doing
yeah.
her
So
thing.
listen, he even said, there's more to do, but the fact that he started as a scout, I know he was like GM for Houston Stallions, position coach, assistant, D coordinator, and head coach. Everybody wanted a head coach, a head coach with experience, but everybody's got to start, with no experience. But he surrounded himself with three coaches I've seen just watching the video:
Yep.
the D coordinator, the OC, and special teams. And
Yes.
the guy Wilkes, he's been around long, long time. He's been a head coach, coordinator, he's been everything. And that guy's going to lend a lot of assistance to Aaron.
Agreed. I'll share my screen. We can get into Michael Nani. A shout out to him at JetX, co-founder. He wrote articles on Wilkes and Engstrom. So we'll get into that, DC and OC.
Yeah.
But that, I didn't think about that. Parcells is the one who didn't protect Glenn in the expansion draft because he was still the president. And I'm trying to remember who they protected. It was tough because Goodell made it tough on the teams. Like, you couldn't protect so many guys. And I remember I was disappointed as a fan when they lost Glenn, but it was one of those things. And the fact that Parcells was the guy and Glenn still has such a great relationship with them should go a long way, I think.
He said he learned a lot from him. He learned a lot from Parcells.
He confronts people. I think he got that from Parcells, right?
Well, that's what I said. I got a quoted just saying, there's no freebies. Somebody does something wrong or this and that happens. You can hear about it. And I said, the team lacked discipline. The first half of the quote that they didn't post was basically saying, I probably lined up against him 5,000 times every day for 4 years, or in every practice and every this and every that. What I said, there's no freebies. Every single rep, we wanted each other. There was no like, you do better, I do better. It was always going at it. And that's the kind of competitor he was. And then I said, yeah, and he should bring a level of discipline because he's not going to take the penalties or stupid mistakes and stuff like that. So, that's what you want to hear. Little in stature, man. He's got the gray beard going, but man, I'm telling you, he don't back down from nobody.
I love the gray. That's right up my alley. I'll rock the gray with him all day. And he was a scout. I knew he was a scout, but I didn't know Parcells gave him the idea to go to scouting first.
Yeah.
Brilliant by both of them, I think.
Yeah. He started off, like you said, not in the mailroom, but that's that kind of story. So
yeah, and he wanted to start there. Yeah.
Listen, some people jump to the front of the line, for one reason or another. Some people are very close with ownership, or they're this or they're that, and that's good for them. But he learned by evaluating and assessing talent. And some coaches, they could see talent, but can you see it, before they get to that? You know what I mean? He sees the potential. So that's why you see some of the draft picks or the free agents that he had perform, because he could see that in him early on. But yeah, he's put the work in. Who is the offense coordinator now? Did he come from Detroit as well?
Detroit, Engstrom. So let's start with Wilkes, as you said, experience.
Yeah.
He's been a head coach in the past. I forgot what college he went to and came out of, but I was impressed. And one of the things people are worried about is he's jumped around from team to team recently. It wasn't that case before, like 7 years ago. Prior to 5-7 years ago, he was in one spot for a while. We'll look up his history. But for those interested, he's a 4-3 guy for sure, which Glenn is as well. But I think Glenn is more hybrid. Wilkes will play 3-4 every now and then. He loves nickel. And that is perfectly suited right here. First in the league with the Cardinals in 2018 with nickel. First in 2019 with the Browns. That is perfectly suited for today's game, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah. Well, I think they were saying that, a couple of years ago when he was with the Niners, I think they're top 5 in interceptions and whatever else. But that's the thing. He can, obviously AG is going to have his input, but you got a guy who can take care of it. AG doesn't have to babysit. And this guy wasn't, getting demoted. He was making lateral moves in coaching staff or moving up. Maybe it didn't work as head coach, but that has happened with a couple guys that end up being better coordinators than head coaches, but still getting jobs. So is Saleh the D coordinator with
San Fran,
and then Ulbricht's at what, Atlanta?
Yeah. The San Fran, they should have just avoided trouble and traded Saleh for Wilkes a couple years ago. San Fran and the Jets,
And Todd Bowles, his success. It's just how it is sometimes. But
look at his excellent job.
Getting someone with years and experience.
I do too. And I would love an offensive guy. We'll get into the offense soon. I love an offensive guy with some experience. Look at his cover 3. He loves his cover 3, as does most DCs. Let's see. What a job. Shout out Michael Nania putting this article together on Jets X Factor. Seen below are Wilkes' average usage rates and rankings across the past 4 stops. Cover 3, 35.5% of the time. Cover 4, 24%. Cover 1, 20%. Cover 0, 4%. So he's not a crazy blitzer like Flores, but he's also not shy to blitz. He'll blitz.
Yeah. Like you said, and does the personnel fit the scheme, or the scheme has to fit the personnel? I mean, they know what they have there. I'm just looking at some of the questions. They're talking about Banjo is the special teams coach. I heard, he was a player, recently. He's a great player, and that Westhoff gave him great endorsement. You need that fiery kind of guy. Someone asked me if I was a receiver coach, what would I do? I'm not sure who they hired yet.
Did they hire
the next thing? I'm not sure who they had.
Jefferson, but I don't know if they retained him. Someone in the chat helped me out. I have not been up on the latest few days in terms of coaching hires, but
Sean Jefferson was. I spoke to him. Maybe I saw him last year. Good guy. Knows his stuff. I like the way he talks to the players. As far as what I would change, I don't know. I mean, just looking at it, they ran good routes. They fought for the ball. No silly penalties. No, they didn't do anything wrong. I just think they didn't get as many opportunities as they might. And then, you got the whole Garrett Wilson asked for a trade, and then it's like media's running with that. It's like, come on, man, he doesn't want to go anywhere.
No, dude,
he's a building block there.
I said it before. Confrontation is fine, and they're going to learn that even more. And I think fans are going to realize that with Glenn as head coach. Like in August, Garrett and Rodgers were fighting on the sideline. That's good. That's fine. If it's kumbaya all the time, something's wrong. And that same goes for Glenn and Muji. Like, I know they're both reporting to Woody. That's the one question I have. When they don't agree, who's the tiebreaker? I think it's Glenn. I think Glenn is the final boss here, but they're claiming team decision, which I would do too, but I think Glenn's the guy at the top. You want conflict. Conflict is fine, and that's what Glenn is going to bring, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking at something right now.
And by the way, I created the video late, so there might not be a lot of people watching right now. And if you want to get down in the comments and ask Wayne a question, go for it, because before people flood in.
I'm going to look at something right now. This is what I'm talking about. People ask me about being a receiver coach and stuff. Listen, these guys have freaking decades in working themselves up. This is Sean Jefferson. All right,
and he got retained, by the way. Sean Jefferson,
awesome. Yeah, he's a player from 91 to 2003. So 2006, offensive assistant. Then he was assistant wide receiver coach Detroit. Then the wide receiver coach Detroit, wide receiver coach Tennessee, Miami receiver coach 2016-18, New Jersey Jets assistant head coach, wide receivers coach. Then he went to Arizona wide receivers coach. Then he was the associate head coach and wide receivers coach there. Then he went to Carolina wide receivers coach. Mm-hmm. And he's the Jets. That's people say about me being this guy's earned his stripes. This guy's moving up. He's the right guy to have there. He's doing well with those guys. Between the injuries, and some games where they didn't get many chances. I wouldn't change much in the receiver room and just hopefully get one more playmaker.
Yes, I think if you think about it, like, what can you do in terms of the receiver room? Not much. Garrett, there's some things with Garrett. It's not crazy. I'm nitpicking, but like Garrett, sometimes he has to go straight ahead instead of dancing. But more players, Brees too. I think Jefferson's done a great job. There's not much to change.
What the thing I don't like is, I don't like when people don't get distance to get the first down.
That too. That's tough. Yeah.
But you would trade what Garrett does, and Brees, especially you would trade what Garrett does for anything. Sometimes he has a first and he doesn't, he goes back.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets short, But majority of the time, if he makes that move and loses ground, he's getting up another 5, 10, 15. So
Usually, yes.
you can't tell him to not to be an athlete like that. Just get the first down. And like I say, you can't teach that. Right,
it's tricky. It's a tricky one. Like, it's a nitpick for sure.
Yeah.
Here's the complete staff. Glenn at the top, Banjo, Engstrand, and we'll get into Engstrand, Nani, another Nani article, Wilkes, and then the positions.
20 years. Sean Jefferson.
Yeah. I mean, listen, fans will always want you as a receivers coach, and you're excited. You want to help out any way you can. Like, I think that's what Jets fans want to see most. You helping out any way possible.
Yeah. Listen, my thing is, I'm trying to move your screen up, like slide yours up with my thing, but it's you see me moving?
Because I can't see you right now because I'm on the screen. But yeah,
as far it's just something I want to be a part of in any way. Nothing big, but just be around the building, be around the guys. Like I said, these guys been doing this forever. Not a 60-hour a week guy, but nothing more. They're just more than what I usually do, but just going and hanging out. But just a chance to just go pick each other's brain and just be around. I don't necessarily need to coach, but it just the atmosphere. When I walked in the building for the press conference, I saw Christopher Johnson, all smiles. I saw the media people, all smiles. Yep. It was a good vibe. And we left feeling even better. And let me tell you something. Christopher didn't talk. Woody went up there and spoke about the hiring process of Aaron and the GM. He talked about, how many people they interviewed. Everybody got 3 hours, this and that. Questions they asked, what they're looking for. And just listening, I was like, wow, the way he proposed it is that it's the best I've heard him speak about something like that. I think he's, on the right track with saying, hey, I hired these people to do these things. Obviously, he oversees everything. He's got the checkbook, but Woody's, he's very well. Like I said, I don't think I would change anything about that press conference, except maybe me and AG going out and running some routes together. But,
dude,
it was perfect, man. The family was right next to me, and
I couldn't find you.
It was just a nice day.
You were in the front row. All the players were behind me, like Mangold and Woody, and I had all the big dude. I looked like the smallest wimp in the room with those dudes behind me, and I couldn't find you anywhere. You were in the front row next to those.
Yeah, I was front row, right next to his wife. I haven't seen her, and it's three beautiful kids.
Mm-hmm.
Fred Baxter was down there. We had played with him, but we're down there, and I was joking because I'm actually taking a picture of AG just sitting at the table. I'm like, showed her. I'm like, this is a good picture. I'm like a fan, like a proud brother up there because weird. I've known him for 25, 30 years. You know what I mean? And just how far he's come. It's awesome. I wish him the best, man. And I think he's going to turn this around. Here we go.
Dude. And the media hounded you afterwards. How many interviews did you do? My goodness. That was pretty good.
I talked to anybody. So you got Damian Woody, Nick, Tony Richardson.
I snagged this one while you guys were up there. I snagged this one from
Rob Carpenter, Marty, Freddie,
Richardson,
Meek, Escadden. That's Dennis O'Sullivan.
Yes,
he played for a little bit. I know he has the same agent as me, and Glenn Foley. On the right, but it was funny because we're taking the picture, and I'm next to Aaron, and the media person's just like, Coach, could we do this? And I'm like, who's she talking to? Like, oh shit! I'm like, Aaron's the coach. I'm like, I didn't call him, coach. Maybe I should call him coach, but just when she said that, I was like, it kicked in. Like, wow, he's really the new head coach of the New York Jets.
Yeah, you're looking around for Parcells. Where the hell is he?
And I met him in 1995 minicamp, and that's 30 years ago.
30 freaking.
Look where he is now.
Time flies, man. Time flies. And he beat you to the NFL by 1 year, right? He came in 94. You were 95.
Listen, there's only 32 of them in the league, head coaches.
Yeah.
It's a prized position, and to coach in New York, where, like I said, it's not going to be easy. Win or lose, it's not going to be easy, and he's ready for the challenge.
There's nothing you could hate about the energy he brings, his philosophy in terms of leadership, accountability. And the most important thing about the accountability, which this team desperately needs, is there's no accountability without responsibility. The players and individuals need to know what their responsibility is. And I've seen it so often where these guys just either don't know or they don't care, and they're playing selfish defense. Like, instead of running like a missile and missing a tackle or trying to go for a big hit, take the right angle. Like, if you have inside run support from the safety and a read option against Kyler Murray, make sure you don't try to play hero ball and take it on with the inside shoulder and play outside in because the other guy's inside out, stuff like that. And if you can get that down, they're going to be better right away.
Technique comes from coaching, man. Everybody knows how to play, and great athlete. They get there.
Everyone's talented. Yeah,
just them molding you into something. Looking some Gator McCluskey. If
Gator's on here, how about that?
What QB's out there could be a surprise cut we would consider. Thanks for the years of happiness. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. I don't want to get too much. Like last time I was like, I'll give 15 seconds to Rodgers. I'm just saying, what is the move as far as a vet? I mean, we'll talk about maybe the possibility people say moving up to get Shador, which I don't think Dion wants him playing in New York, or Cam Ward. Who's going to be a vet out there that we can grab that's not just like a journeyman?
It doesn't look good, man. Like, honestly. And I'm more pro Rodgers than the average Jets fan right now because, listen, there's things that I didn't like from him this past year, obviously. But I think the type of guy Glenn is someone Rodgers will respect. Like, he'll confront him right away. He won't dance around. He'll challenge him. If he drags his feet at all, forget about it. See ya. Like, he can't drag his feet. Glenn's got to go to him. They got to hash it out, and he's got to decide. And I'd be okay with Rodgers coming back, but with other vets, it's a tough. It's thin right now. Like, we're gonna have to be searching. Tyrod, Sam Darnold's not gonna happen. We know that. Jameis Winston. I mean, that's the level we're talking about right now.
I know. Listen, you could win with a guy like that.
You can,
you
for
want
sure.
Someone you're gonna have for the next decade, but if they get the defense right. We add on the offensive defensive line. You don't need to have, Mahomes or Josh Allen, or you can have someone experienced that you can work with, just not someone that doesn't have much experience. I like Tyrod.
I like Tyrod too. You just can't rely on him. Like, that's the and with Rodgers, again, he's polarizing, but that first year coming off an Achilles is always the hardest year too. Like, I think people forget about that.
He couldn't really move last year.
Yes, and he has to. This is a deal breaker too. If he's not flexible with whatever scheme Engstrand brings in, and we'll hop on that before we say goodbye too. We got like 5-10 minutes left. Here's the free agent quarterbacks. If he doesn't conform to the scheme, like, he could do his thing on top of the scheme, but if he doesn't conform to the scheme, that's a deal breaker too. Free agents: Darnold, Zach Wilson. You want to go with Zach Wilson again?
No.
Is that a yes or a no? That's a no, huh?
I mean, no. Some of these guys are just
Trey Lance.
The prime. Justin Fields is
the other one,
but is he the guy for that offense?
Here's the thing: if you go with Fields, the entire offense changes, and can Engstrand pull it off? Probably. I think he could get his own read option type thing, but would Garrett be happy in that offense? I don't know. It's
if we're doing this, not to be weird, like if we're doing scroll, like it's still right there.
Yeah.
Scroll down to the top almost.
To the top.
See the top, the beginning of the list.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're looking at 5 years ago, like Brissett was good. Heineke was doing it. Mariota was a good.
I liked Heineke.
Andy Dalton was, he one of the guys. Jameis was one of Carson Wentz and Garafolo were Pro Bowl guys.
Mac Jones had a decent year. One of those
who else
years.
is on the list? I mean,
Case
like I said,
Keenum.
they just pass it. Can they get it done? Probably, yeah. But wow.
Russell Wilson,
Josh Johnson been on 12 teams, I think, right? 12 years, 12 teams.
Wow, he's on.
Yeah, Russell Bridgewater. Look at what Bridgewater
Teddy.
when he left.
Rippin.
Ritter didn't work out. Tommy DeVito. Listen, it's tough. So I'm looking at the potential. Everybody has mock drafts, and these were some of the names I heard. I'll just, this would be early. The tight end Warren from Penn State.
He's a stud.
Outside linebacker Mikael Williams from Georgia, monster. The O lineman Will Campbell from LSU could be something. The D tackle Mason Graham from Michigan, that was another name. The receiver from Arizona is legit.
He's a stud, yeah.
And the edge Carter from Penn State. So there's
stud.
There's going to be a good player there, but what would we move up for? I mean, is Cam Ward a generational quarterback?
I'm not loving him or Sanders right now, to be honest. So yeah. I don't think they'll move up at all for each quarterback, either quarterback. The question is, does the quarterback move late in the process to get up into the top 10? Because if that happens, maybe there's someone there for them.
Yeah. I'm just saying, lots of time, lots going to happen. But at what point do you say we're moving forward from Aaron? Or, what if he comes in and, anybody can get hurt, anything can happen. But I'm not going to say waste a year. It's playoffs or bust, obviously. I mean, for the season, obviously, no one's going to lose.
It's stacking up wins and feeling good about yourself.
No one's going to lose their job over this year. Right. I'm just saying, I'm not saying blow it up. I'm not saying, I'm just saying creating a big window, not just like hopefully we could do it in the next 2-3 years kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't figure out that spot. Who they're going to put there?
It's Rodgers, man. At this point, I'm starting to believe that I'm going to be. And listen, I don't know Glenn as well as other people, you especially.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to feel like it'll be a surprise to me if it's not Rodgers, because I don't think he wants to retire, number one, and I think he's not perfect, obviously, but I think he's also misunderstood. Some of that is his own fault. And I think he can still play. He could absolutely still play. I know that. But we only got a couple of minutes left, guys. Get your questions in. We'll end on Engstrand. Also, you hear the new O-line coach is a tight end, Heinen, who worked under Ben Johnson and alongside Engstrand, and he chose to go to the Jets. He was the tight ends coach in Detroit. He was an assistant O-line coach in Arizona, but mostly tight ends coach in Arizona. Glenn hired him, this tight end, to be the O-line's coach. People have their eyebrows raised, but I think it might be a good move because, dude, it doesn't matter if you're an O-lineman or tight end. If you know how to teach blocking, you know how to teach blocking.
Yeah, listen, tight ends block too. Tight ends know the scheme.
And they got to block. They got to be that much better based on their size.
Listen, I've seen, I've never seen a receiver BT coordinator, but if you studied the other side, offense, defense, so it's. It's good, but hey, they see something in him. They're comfortable with him. Everybody said bring back a Jet legend, O lineman or whatever, but it's not about that. I mean, the guy's worked his way around, obviously comfortable with the rest of the coaching staff. So that's the toughest, position coaches like that and on this and that. You might strike gold, and next thing you know, that someone's taking him as a coordinator,
Yep.
So, it could be the beginning of something.
And it starts at the top. If Glenn has the right mindset and vision for today's game, in terms of weekly game plans, guys could flourish. I feel like the old regime, LaFleur could have been the second coming of something special, but if that vision isn't there and it's a conservative game plan, there's not much you could do. So it'll start with Glenn, I think.
Let me ask you this. it was a question from
in the comments.
Oh, Jeffrey Snuffin. What is the deal with DJ Reed and Sherwood? Is the Sherwood going to end up being like a, what was the rush end we had last year that we lost to the Eagles? Huff? Like Sherwood came on. He's a young guy. Is he unrestricted or restricted free agent?
He's a free agent because this was his 4th year, no option because he's not a first round pick. So he's a free agent. Okay. And I don't know. That's a good question. Reed, he was frustrated at the end of the year. He kind of told the reporters, looking forward to free agency, in so many words, not saying that he didn't want to come back, but then said something really positive when they hired Glenn. So who knows?
Listen, you want to be coached by a really, Pro Bowl
he's the corner,
defensive back. That's the kind of guy you can learn from.
Yeah. Who takes it to the house. How many touchdowns does he have? It's absurd. You forget.
Yeah. You could also say, if you not disgruntled, that you just don't know this and that, to be getting a pay raise. And that's smart because you want to keep a guy like that around because I think he outplayed, Sauce last year. But, you get those back on the same page like they were the year before, then you got something there.
Yeah. I want them to attack Sherwood, get him back as much as they can. Reed, I do too, but it'll be tough with the money, with the cap situation, and his age. It's going to be a tough one. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it will be tough. And here we go. Engstrand, again, shout out to Nani. 11 personnel. You can only take it from Detroit. He's never been a OC play caller, but 11 personnel 61% of the time. So again, another guy who really fits today's world, and only Buffalo and Cleveland utilized 6+ offensive linemen more than Detroit did. So, I think Engstrand, hopefully, if he's the real deal, he's going to mold the offense around his players.
Yeah. So, like I said, you fit in the system to the coach or, the players to the system. Obviously they wouldn't hire someone that wasn't, on the same page of what they've been doing and what they're trying to do. So, all in all, I give a high grade to the press conference. That doesn't mean, wins or losses. Just means I think we're on the right track as far as changing mentality, changing the atmosphere. Like I said, the total vibe, and it just seems like a happier place to go to work. Obviously, we're 0-0 right now, but it just felt different. Last week, and look forward to more news, after the Super Bowl, because that's when things start to move a little bit.
Yeah, and we'll end it on this. Glenn, he mentioned the Denver game in '98. Engstrand, or Detroit, sixth most usage in terms of motion, pre-snap motion. And I watched the '98 title game, the first half, or up until it was 10-0 the other day. And I noticed you came out like gangbusters. I forgot. You came out with those 3 or 4 receptions on the first drive, and they had you in motion on nearly every play. How did it feel being the motion guy all the time?
It's tough sometimes to be the motion guy, but you need that to kind of see if it's man or zone and what they're going to do. And also I had a cushion. They couldn't jam me. But if I had a little bit of a running head start coming off the ball, it's tough, man. It'd be a handful. They knew they're in for a big day. So the motion helped, but Brady had that on every play. He would have one of the slot guys come in just like 3 or 4 steps.
Yeah, Edelman, Welker.
Yeah, but when you're going across the motion, you can control the tempo of the guy chasing you. Speed up, slow down, slow and speed. I was in motion a lot out there, and I think I had 100-something yards. It's just one of those days I couldn't get in the end zone though.
Yeah, look at this. We could use Wayne Smarts to help the receiver unit too. Kev Chatta. I saw Gator McCluskey in there. By the way, Wayne, Gator McCluskey is the brains behind the video and stuff with the Asman show, the well-produced Asman show. We'll end it on this. Michael Piper, who wins the Super Bowl, Wayne? Eagles or the Chiefs?
I can't root for the Chiefs. I'm not, I grew up, I'm a Giant fan and Jet fan. I don't like the Philly. I don't like the Eagles. I don't like the Sixers. I don't like anything from Philly.
Me neither.
Your friends
Boston,
from there.
though. I hate Boston more, I think.
Yeah. But, Goodell came out and made a statement about the referees helping the Chiefs. I mean,
what? What did he say?
Goodell, it came out alert. He actually had a comment on it. You look at all the calls that he made. Mahomes is flopping now.
Yeah,
going out of bounds. Even Aikman called him out on it.
Good.
I'd like to see someone new win it.
Me too.
Than the Chiefs. The same every year, but I just don't think they're as good as they were in previous years. If you look at score-wise, points for and against, they're nothing compared to like some of these other teams that were just blowing teams out.
No, Detroit had him beat big time. And man, if it wasn't for Adam Silver and the NBA, Goodell would be even more hated. Like the way the NFL has changed, where it's less physicality, but the NBA is even worse. I can't stand it at times.
I'm rooting for Saquon to get a Saquon.
Yeah, I like Saquon.
Dude, he's a machine. I like him a lot. So I'd like to see him get that ring.
Agreed. The Eagles fans will be just unbearable, but agreed. I like Saquon.
Yeah. We'll talk about it next week. See what happens.
All right, guys. We'll jetsxfactor.com. Check it all out. Discount code 80 and where podcasts are available. See you guys.
Yep.